Thanks a lot for inviting me to the panel. And I think it's a fantastic topic, fantastic panel, and I'm delighted and I'm honored to be speaking on number one, this great occasion, and also to such a dynamic panel. My exposure to social entrepreneurship, and this is what I want to specifically talk about, started back when I started my journey into the incubation space back in 2013. So my first, interaction or learning, or there's a word called SOCENT, which is very common and familiar when we talk about social enterprise and social impact. And the first time I heard this word was back in 2013 when we picked up this project with GIZ, which is a German government economy body, and we're trying to do a capacity building workshop for incubators and social impact enterprises. Uh, and then, of course, during the journey, I worked, I did a few programs as partners with Willgrow, which is one of the biggest social impact, social incubator in the country. And then I spent quite a major time with Unitas Ventures, which was back then called as Unitas Seed Fund. And my major job was to, as a consultant back there, my major was to job was to scout for impact startups. And I think these 4 years roughly gave me enough exposure in terms of understanding how important and impactful social entrepreneurship is on the ground, and how as an entrepreneur you can really not just make money for yourself but create a bigger impact in society out there, and create a lot of value for people out there. Introduction to what social entrepreneurship is, what social impact is, and how I see social entrepreneurship and social impact as an entrepreneur, especially not being a social entrepreneur, is I see the social entrepreneurship that it's primarily an approach by an individual or a group or a couple of people or company, where they're able to develop, fund, and implement solutions for social, cultural, and environmental issues. And I believe it is very, very important to understand this broad spectrum of solutions at a social, cultural, environmental level, because social entrepreneurship changes a lot with the organization. And to my surprise, there's no one standard definition to social entrepreneurship till date, and which is fine. I think because any and every time you're able to create an impact on the society at large, I think for me that counts as a social entrepreneurship. In general, wherein a for-profit business typically uses a performance matrix or a business matrix like a profit or revenue or a stock price to kind of measure the success or failure. A social entrepreneur typically looks at the return to the society and social impact. And I think the one thing that I want to kind of put here in as a key word, and want you to retain through this entire conversation, and want you to kind of take away from this entire conversation, should be the word social impact. Any community project, whether it is non-profit organization, whether it is a cooperative, social enterprise, social purpose business, foundations run by non-profits, all of them can also fall into social enterprise. But I typically personally do not see charity or philanthropy or CSR as a social enterprise, right? So why? And I want to now take a quick pause and talk about this particular concept, where I have spoken with a lot of my fellow entrepreneurs, fellow colleagues, and also a lot of social entrepreneurs, which I say that if the problem of the country, and this is the need of the hour that I'm talking about, if the problem of the country would have been solved by an NGO or by charity, right? We would have been able to solve all the problems till now. So charity model, philanthropy model, although does the purpose, but you still need social enterprises or for-profit social enterprises to work on the ground, so that there's a sustainable model. So if you look at all these terms very recently, whether it is social enterprise or social impact or sustainability or localization, or for that matter, vocal for local, all of these things have come into kind of we have started talking about all these terms. And I think it's a great time to uh, go out there and build a social enterprise, or at least an enterprise, or at least a business that creates a social impact. So one thing that I want to leave you with is that, of course, make sure that you're doing something which leaves a social impact. Second is the NGO model is not a social enterprise model. So if any of you think that you'll be starting an NGO tomorrow, or you'll be starting a self-help group tomorrow, that will not serve the purpose. I believe a social enterprise or a for-profit social enterprise is something which brings in a sustainable model, which makes the organization stay there for a longer period of time. Uh, should be the future ahead or the way ahead, and that's the reason why I want to talk about the social enterprises. So here I want to talk very quickly about our story at Co-Design Labs, who we are and what we do, and how we were able to create social impact while our journey of building this company. So as I said, and I want to kind of pause here on this slide and then talk about the story because it's a very interesting slide. So as I said, I am a techie at heart. I am a hardcore engineer. I'm a technology guy. And I started Co-Design Labs like almost 4 or 5 years ago with my co-founder Neha. Neha happens to be the CEO of this company, and therefore we say it's a woman-led company. And we even current date at current time, even if we talk about whether we talk about full-time employees or even the contractual workers or freelancers we work with, we are a woman majority company. So how did this happen? We were never ever trying to build a company which was women focused or women led or things like that. But one thing we always wanted to do, and this is where the interesting part is, so what, as an entrepreneur, the problem I was trying to solve was that I thought that why can't a company in a tier 2 or a tier 3 or a tier 4 that is in a small town can have access to high quality technology, technology professionals. So we have seen the problem in the country that if you look at the technology scenario in the country, uh, all the talent which is there in the country either moves out to the international, moves to the US or the Europe and all those countries, or even if you look at the scenario internally, the technical talent moves to Delhi, Bombay, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, Gurgaon, all these areas. So therefore, there's a huge dearth of high quality technical talent in the smaller cities or tier 2 and tier 3 cities. What happens because of this, that this creates a lot of vacuum in these cities, and the companies in tier 2 and tier 3 are not able to hire good talent. So we started a platform called Co-Design Labs, where we started giving access to really high quality talent to the small businesses or enterprises or corporates via our platform. After almost 1.5 years, we realized that because the nature of the platform of ours was, we were not a matchmaker, we were handling all the things for freelancers, we were giving them a lot of other kind of opportunities, we were making sure the payments was coming on time and all those kind of things. We realized that, and when we started analyzing, more than 50% of the freelancers on our platform were women. And when we started interviewing them, we realized that most of them were either young girls or young women who were not allowed by their families to move out and work. They were newly married women or women who had to shift cities due to some or the other reason, maybe a family reason or maybe marriage, or maybe young moms. So we realized that the kind of model that we have built was able to create a huge impact in terms of giving not just employment but a lot of sustainability to all of these women. And I'm happy to say that we last year were also awarded as top 5 diversity champions across the country, and my co-founder Neha was awarded to be one of the top 5 diversity champions. So what I believe as an entrepreneur, that which I always say, that social impact can come from anywhere, right? Even if you responsibly, so I say this term which is responsible capitalism. So even if you do even if you run a for-profit business with a very conscious approach towards creating an impact or creating a positive impact towards society, if you really make sure you're not exploiting people, I think a lot of social impact can come from anywhere. So it is not necessary that you really get into that attire of a typical social entrepreneur, or go to a village, or go to a place where you have to prove that you're a social entrepreneur. Even technology can create a lot of social impact. That is one thing I believe. How can you become a social entrepreneur, or what young people or students and entrepreneurs can learn from what is happening in the world right now and what is happening in the country right now? I think one, social impact, social entrepreneurship can come from anywhere. If you are an entrepreneur with an eye towards the opportunity, and if you're able to look at the right opportunity for a business, if you're solving a right problem, and if you are able to do your business in a very responsible way, and you have an opinion, you have an eye towards giving back to the society, I think you can definitely for sure create social impact. So now moving on to the second part, which is, as an entrepreneur, I see it as a land of opportunity. And why do I say so? Because the the startup 101, the very basic fundamental behind building any company that we even that I mentor my startups around, is that you have to look for a problem. And if you look at India, we are a land of problems, whether it is pollution, whether it is women's safety, poverty, unemployment, corruption, healthcare infrastructure, agriculture, farmer distress, water, sanitation, and the list can go on. There are 100 such big sectoral problems that creates, because of lack of things which were not done on ground. I think there are huge sectoral problems that, if addressed in the right way, can both create money for the entrepreneur and of course create a lot of social impact and a lot of positive impact to the society. So therefore, India is a land of opportunity. There are huge sectors, whether you want to solve a problem in general or whether via product or via sector, I think a lot can be done here. So let me give you a few quick examples. We have huge amount of successful social entrepreneurs, whether we talk about Anshu Gupta from Goonj, Arushi Batra from Robinhood Army, Sushmita Ghosh from Rangsutra, Ajita Shah from Frontier Markets, Karthik Narasalan Setti from Social Blood. There are 100 of such examples that I can quote in front of you, where I see that social entrepreneurs have done fantastic job on ground, both in making money and creating positive impact. So how to get started is another question. So a lot of kids, a lot of students come and ask that, hey, you have told us all of these things, you have motivated us enough, now we know what social entrepreneurship is all about, now we know that India is a land of opportunity, but how do we get started, right? So I think a lot of support is available via there are social impact investors, there are social venture funds, as I said, social impact investors. So you have United Seed Fund, which is a hardcore social impact fund. You have your social venture funds, which are willing to fund your social idea. There are dedicated social accelerators. There are social impact business incubators, even government grants, a lot of government competitions. And then of course you have grants, CSRs, competition by both public and private organizations, right? So I think, as I said, there's a lot which has to be done. This COVID time, the pandemic has just given us an opportunity to think back, reevaluate how things are, reevaluate what impact can be done. And I've seen fantastic businesses being opened in these times, whether it is from the healthcare point of view or whether it is from the sanitization point of view. So I've seen great entrepreneurs picking up on these opportunities and working around their social ideas. So yeah, in the end, all I can say is you should begin a journey today. If you're a student, I think you don't have any liabilities. There's a less risk of failure, and there's always a safety net. You can go back to your college prof or your college chief and tell, hey, I did this startup and can you help me in getting in a job? And I'm very sure that as a student entrepreneur, you will learn enough that you become really placement worthy. So I think it's a great time. You should definitely explore this.